Fox 19 now starts with breaking news.
Are we going to fix that damn bridge of yours going into Kentucky?
The words the tri-state's been waiting to hear as President Joe Biden mentions the Brent Spence Bridge on a CNN town hall visiting the West Side. Good evening. I'm Rob Williams.
I'm Amber Jayonth in for Tricia, and we have team coverage of the president's visit tonight. Chris Rivas anchoring our live coverage at Mount St. Joseph University, where he got a wide variety of questions, Chris, including giving us hope that the Brent Spence would be fixed.
Yeah, and we heard a quick snippet right off the top of the newscast here. The president is left campus. He has left campus and now is on his way back to CVG, where he'll be heading back to Washington tonight. But this was the scene inside Mount St. Joe's Auditorium earlier this evening when the president took the podium right around 8 p.m. There he answered questions on a wide range of topics from about 8 to about 9:20, so an hour and 20 minutes, perhaps extending the town hall meeting 20 minutes longer than necessary. He spent the first 15 minutes or so talking about the COVID response here in the United States and vaccinations, and then he hit the infrastructure bill. When he was asked by Todd Michael, is it possible for Congress to get a bill together and to get a project like the Brent Spence fixed?
The answer is absolutely, positively yes. I'm not just saying that. I'm not just saying that. You take a look at Ohio and Kentucky combined, there's thousands of bridges that need repair. Thousands of bridges. And we should be looking at it this way. It increases commerce, number one, but guess what? They're good paying union jobs. Union jobs.
The president praising Rob Portman, who is the senator from Cincinnati working on that infrastructure bill, along with Governor Mike DeWine. He also said there was a small hiccup on Congress today on delaying a vote. He says that he believes it'll be back on track, that infrastructure bill, by Monday. Wide range of topics, and it did include recent gun violence, not only here in Cincinnati, but also across the country. When a resident in Over the Rhine asked him about policing and community-oriented policing, Don Lemon followed it up with, does he believe that police should be defunded?
Cops are having real trouble. They're not all bad guys. There are a lot of good guys. We need more policemen, not fewer policemen. But we need them involved in community policing. Community policing. And when we did that, violent crime went down. All the criticism about the original crime bill, guess what? Yeah. Crime went down.
Once again, it was a wide range of topics, but all of these questions were pre-screened by CNN before the individuals even arrived here tonight and received their invitation. But once again, the president answering questions for about an hour and 20 minutes. Outside, there were demonstrators. There were people that weren't happy that the president was here. For more on that, I'm joined by my colleague, Cody Fisher, who talked to some of those individuals outside protesting tonight.
And Chris, right now we're just a couple of feet down the road from where you are. This is the corner of Delhi Road and Nebro, right across the street from Mount St. Joe. This area of grass right here, it was filled with protesters, and there was protesters right across the street as well. There were three distinct groups of protesters outside of Mount St. Joseph. One of them was a pro-life group that did not like that the Catholic school had President Biden speaking there.
I don't want to be represented, nationally, my hometown, as supporting the most pro-abortion president that we've ever had.
Another major group were supporters of President Trump, who came to oppose the direction President Biden is taking the country.
I think he's probably one of the weakest presidents that this nation has had, and it's at least modern history, and I think it's a danger to America. I think it's a danger to all of our citizens.
Another set of protesters was an environmentalist group that was also outside of President Biden's visit to the IBEW Electrical Training Center. They want President Biden to
cancel all fossil fuel expansion, including Line 3, Line 4, Line 5, and the Dakota Access Pipeline.
Both sides agreed on the importance of their debate.
We all have a different idea about what the future can look like, but what we have right now is not it.
It's sad to see us so divided. I wish we could find something that can unite us.
Now, once President Biden left Mount St. Joe University and left the Delhi area, that's when the protesters who were standing here started to quietly and peacefully go back home. Reporting live in Delhi Township, Cody Fisher, Fox 19 now.
We are live here at CVG awaiting the president's arrival. He will be here with his motorcade any minute now to get on Air Force One and return back to Washington, D.C. We'll have a live report as soon as he gets here.
And live here at the Alert Desk with a first alert traffic update. The second round of road closures to get President Biden back to CVG are underway. Cincinnati police just providing an update within the last 5 minutes saying River Road has reopened. However, parts of I-275 are still closed. That includes in Whitewater Township at I-74 in Ohio, as well as I-275 between 75 and the Hebron exit. That is expected to reopen around 10:30, according to Cincinnati police. That means despite talking about it tonight and it being a backdrop for the president's infrastructure plan, Biden will not cross the Brent Spence Bridge during his trip to Cincinnati. And perhaps Delhi Township Administrator Jack Cameron said it best, tweeting out just a short time ago, "Stay in bed or keep watching Netflix rather than move your car while the president leaves Delhi." Send it over to Chris Riva live at Mount St. Joe.
With that said, Trevor, you didn't know that the president was here just a short while ago. Well, it's all quiet once again. Just like that, he's on his way back to CVG. Coming up, our continuing coverage of this entire day of the presidential visit here to the tri-state, including Joetta Boris, who spoke to some of the individuals that were inside the town hall meeting tonight, and they were able to ask questions to the president themselves. We'll have more coverage coming up for you guys, but we toss it back to you in the studio.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. You just mentioned it. We're going to have continuing coverage during the rest of our 10 o'clock news and our 11 o'clock news as well, as the 46th president made a stop in Cincinnati.
And in all of our live shots we saw, it's really a nice evening out there. Pretty clear, no rain, no problems.
Yeah, I know the humidity was dropping throughout the day. Is it low right now? Is it going to stay low?
Yeah, it's much lower than it has been for the past few days. It will stay low tomorrow, but it begins to come back up over the weekend, and then next week will be kind of variable. What you see behind me here makes it look like a lot of cloud cover moving into the tri-state, but one of the things meteorologists do is get ground verification at CVG. The clouds are said to be 25,000 feet above the ground. That's that high, thin stuff. Same thing up in Indianapolis. And so we've got some high, thin cloud cover out there during the day, even though it looks pretty ominous here on the satellite image at night. During the day, it doesn't block a lot of sunshine. So a mostly sunny, nice day ahead of us. And notice something we haven't seen for a while. Watch the ground here. Turn that gray. We talk about this all the time. That's the satellite picking up the cooler ground under the cooler air that is pushing into the tri-state. So a nice start, almost coolish in some spots tomorrow morning, and then nothing big coming our way for a while. We'll talk about what happens as we head into the weekend, but one of the things it does, tomorrow into the low to mid-80s, low to mid-80s again on Friday, but Saturday, and that'll continue into Sunday, upper 80s to lower 90s around the tri-state. So we do have a warming trend on the way, and the forecast talks about 68 degrees by midnight as we head into tomorrow morning, upper 50s to lower 60s. We'll talk about the rest of the week and the weekend in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Steve. We are following breaking news tonight from our media partners at the Inquirer, and a big blow for the Reds. The Inquirer is reporting that the Reds All-Star and MVP candidate Nick Castellanos says that he has a microfracture in his wrist. Now, Castellanos reportedly said in an interview with the Chris Rose rotation that a CT scan revealed the microfracture, and he hasn't been in the starting lineup since he was hit by a pitch ball right there. That happened during last weekend's series against the Brewers. Now, he reportedly said that he'll rest a couple more days to see where he is.
More local news now for you. A Highland County man is behind bars tonight, accused in a plot saying he was planning a mass shooting to, quote, slaughter women.
Investigators say his manifesto revealed that he was planning an attack at an Ohio university.
Our Courtney King spoke with one of the detectives on the case. She's live in Hillsboro. This story is getting national attention, Courtney.
Yeah, Rob and Amber, so we did speak with an investigator who works for the Highland County Sheriff's Department. He tells us that 21-year-old Trace Genko was not known to law enforcement until they received a domestic call for an incident that happened between him and his mother. So law enforcement went out to that trailer, which is on Stony Point Road. From there, when they got inside, they say that they found armor and weapons, and that's when that prompted an investigation. They got a search warrant. From that search warrant, they found the man's manifesto. In that manifesto is where he talked about committing crimes against women and identified himself as an incel, meaning involuntarily celibate, meaning that investigators tell us that this is because he was having a hard time getting women to date him and be physical with him. But they would not tell us which university he was planning to. However, the court documents do tell us that he did do surveillance at One Ohio University. On that same day, he did look up some things on the internet, which would be stuff like, when does it become a crime to look up a shooting or to prepare for a shooting? The investigator also tells us that he had a detailed checklist as he was preparing for this shooting. And the Highland County Sheriff's Office says they then alerted the FBI once they found that manifesto. So this man, Trace Genko, already served time for the crimes in Highland County. However, the FBI or federal authorities arrested him earlier today while he was living at a halfway house. It is important to note that the indictment says Genko attended Army basic training in Georgia, but was discharged after a couple of months. And we did speak with one of his friends, but he wouldn't go on camera. And his friend says that the accusations are blown out of proportion and that Genko is really a kind-hearted person who works very hard and means well. But we're continuing to follow this story. We're going to have more information for you at 11, and we're going to hopefully hear from that investigator that we spoke with. But right now, we're live in Highland County. Courtney King, Fox 19 Now.
All right, Courtney, thank you very much. Some local college students got to ask the president questions during his town hall, and we're speaking with some of them.
And a look at a meeting of local Republican Party leaders just down the street from the president's event.
And a live look at CVG, where Air Force One is parked and is waiting for President Biden, who's flying back to Washington, D.C. tonight.